will enter the boxing ring one-on-one with anybody that believes that Brazilian butt lifts or BBLs are the only way to achieve curves or an hourglass figure. Were you born with a square body shape, maybe a long back, maybe zero butt? No worries. Just go under the knife and endure the pain of multiple childbirths just so that you can achieve your dream body. It's totally worth it. It's actually the only way to gain a curvy butt. Well, you're wrong. The way that Hollywood over the past decade has completely glamorized an unnaturally curvy body to the point where women will completely risk their lives and die for the new beauty standard. Today, we are talking about the most fatal operation in all of plastic surgery and why you should never get a Brazilian butt lift. The BBL originated in Brazil, hence the name, and began its widespread popularity as early as the 1980s. It was the 5th most popular procedure in 2020, and in 2021, over 400,000 women worldwide underwent the procedure, and it is only rising in popularity. A Brazilian butt lift is where a doctor will remove fat deposits from places in your body such as the arms, stomach, thighs, purify the fat, and then inject the fat into the subcutaneous layer of the body, which is right above the muscle, and kind of create a unnaturally shaped, large, balanced, and fat booty. Remember when the most common question would arise? Does my butt look big in this? Well, yes. To give you a great compliment, your butt looks very large. While removing fat from the more unsavory areas of the body, you are completely snatching the waist and growing your butt with ease. You don't even have to go to the gym. Once undergoing this procedure, most patients have a 4 to 6 month recovery phase where they cannot sit for longer than 10 minutes. And that includes bathroom breaks. I really hope you don't have troubles going to the washroom. They have to take a hemorrhoid pillow to restaurants. Specifically, you have to sit on a specific pumped up pillow just so your butt doesn't start to jiggle around and morph into a different shape, but they also have to experience some of the most traumatic pain that they have ever felt. And you pretty much have to lay on your stomach the entire time of this recovery period. Like, imagine 6 months laying on your stomach.
So the pain is probably equivalent to like not working out for a long time.
So the way she explained it is not my experience at all. Clearly her pain level was somewhat mild. I was about to die. I remember waking up from surgery screaming from the top of my lungs. The pain was unbearable. The next day I was in the hospital. It's literally like getting dropped off in the jungle and getting your ass whooped by 20 gorillas, getting jumped by 1,000 Mayweathers times a trillion. It hurts.
Imagine going and getting a procedure and being so excited for the results because all you want is to look like your dream body type, and you wake up in excruciating pain.
Answering some BBL questions. How much did it hurt? I thought I was gonna die. It was the worst pain I've ever felt. It was like bottom surgery times 2. I even compare giving birth to getting a BBL.
The wonderful thing about birth is that when you give birth, you are left with a child, like with a life. But when you go in for a BBL, you're just left with your body still with the fat in it and excruciating pain for what? Now, only about half the fat that's injected will actually stay long term. So the end result is actually going to be smaller than what you think, leading women to get 2, 3, 4 BBLs.
This is my last one, unfortunately. If I'm being honest, I would do another one.
Another BBL?
Yeah. But my last one, I had a really bad experience. I lost a lot of blood during my surgery, and it has nothing to do with my surgeon. He was an amazing surgeon. And I wish I would have gone to him like the first two times because there wouldn't have been around 3.
3 BBLs. Do you guys hear the Billie Eilish Barbie song in the background? Like as if they were sympathizing? I don't understand why.
But I lost a lot of blood during my surgery, and he says that he thinks it's because I had a lot of like scar tissue in there. So I lost a lot of blood. My blood pressure dropped. It was literally at like 40.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like they rushed me to the emergency room. I was so out of it, like the first 4 days in the hospital, like
she lost so much blood. She was so out of it for the first 4 days in the hospital. She proceeds to say, well, it's not like a coma or anything. Like I knew I was there. And you'd say you'd do it again. So far, this already sounds like a very difficult and invasive procedure to begin with, but the adverse side effects, the negative side effects, the list is honestly endless. But most importantly, nothing is scarier than the fact that the BBL is the most fatal procedure in all of plastic surgery. Not so long ago, a statistic was released that 1 in 3,000 women that get a BBL actually die from it. Now, when the fat is injected by somebody who is maybe not as experienced of a doctor who doesn't specialize in BBLs, if this fat is deposited deposited below the muscle, there is a very high chance for something called a fat embolism, which means that this fat can actually be accidentally injected into a blood vessel, which can cause a blood clot and you can die.
It's extraordinarily dangerous. It turns out it's the most dangerous, not only plastic surgery procedure, it's the most dangerous operation there is with the highest fatality rate. And I'll tell you why. You take fat from one part of your body, typically the abdomen, you process it and you inject in the buttock. Sounds easy, right? The problem is there's these very small little veins in the buttock that lead directly to the vena cava, which is the major blood vessel that brings blood back from your body to your heart, to your lungs. If you get fat in those little vessels and it gets in the main vena cava and goes to your lungs, it's over.
It's crazy when we talk about this in terms of the BBL, having this fat be injected into this large blood vessel where it leads to your lungs and your heart, and it can cause fatalities. This is also something that is the same with fillers. When you get a facial filler and you are honestly toying around with this beautiful way that the body is designed, and you are starting to inject foreign objects into the blood vessels, that's where you get necrosis and that's where your skin dies. It is like you are toying around with something that is so perfectly made to create something that is this desired beauty standard when it is extraordinarily dangerous.
It's the most fatal operation there is. And I would advise there are other ways to get a full buttock besides that.
If it's the deadliest operation, period, are they giving warnings when they do this to people? I mean, are people adequately being informed about the dangers here?
Not in my opinion.
Could you imagine watching an interview with a plastic surgeon, somebody who does actually move forward and do BBLs or maybe does consultations about BBL, but could you imagine a plastic surgeon saying, just don't do it? Like, that is how bad this is.
Last year, before the pandemic, an international task force was gathered to warn all of Europe that this is such a dangerous operation. And in this country, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons started to talk about it. They sent out a few articles about it, and then everybody pretty much ignored it. But listen, it's super dangerous. You can do it in the gym. There are safe fillers to do it. I recommend people back away from Brazilian butt lifts.
Hearing that from a plastic surgeon really tells you a lot about this procedure.
What is a procedure you'd advise your own family against?
Sometimes people call this BBL or Brazilian butt lift. BBL is associated with an extremely high mortality rate. And in some studies, it has been published as high as 1 in 3,000.
Okay, let's see what the comments say on this post. I regret getting mine, and I hope I had someone knowledgeable to talk me out of it. Bring flat butts back? You know, next week it will be some new ridiculous trend, so what does it really matter? This is what I always tell you guys. Just why do we constantly have to be following such beauty trends? Of course, they make us feel terrible about ourselves and that we constantly need to live up to a certain degree of beauty. But this is where loving and learning to enjoy the person that you are and the body that you have really comes into play, because at the end of the day, we don't know these adverse effects sometimes until years later. Just go to the gym. Sounds cheaper too, honestly. The fact that women still undergo this procedure with all of this information readily available is actually insane. I went on Reddit when I was researching for this video, and I found so many posts from women saying, are BBLs really that dangerous? Is it kind of just clickbait? Tell us the truth. Like, I feel like I don't really believe what they're saying. Very, very healthy women are dying from these procedures. It is absolutely not a joke.
Have you, by the way, researched BBLs?
So this is Dr. Dubrow again.
Procedure and noticed how dangerous they are?
I have.
Have you heard of the other really bad complication you can get from BBLs?
No.
Death. Death. It's the most fatal operation in all of plastic surgery.
Wow.
This is coming from two plastic surgeons, two people who would sit there and go, actually, babe, you know, we kind of need to fix something here. We need to kind of fix something there in the butt. They are being so straight up and honest, because how can you have this blood on your hands as a plastic surgeon, having one of your patients die? It's just not worth it.
The problem is the chances that that fat will get into one of those short blood vessels leading to the main blood vessel going back to your heart is elevated. And unfortunately, that can lead to a very fatal or dangerous complication.
These BBLs are very dangerous. I know of multiple people that have died from it.
So this man does a very popular series where he does BBL or not. He will show a girl who is claiming to be some sort of fitness guru or just an Instagram model, and people will ask, you know, is this a BBL? And he will either say it is or it isn't.
through studying it and looking into it as I've done research for my BBL or not series. Some of the girls I did a BBL or not on died after, and they went really viral because everyone was commenting saying, hey, this girl died. And it's like,
imagine going and getting a BBL, posting on Instagram, being somebody that promotes maybe a healthy lifestyle or that you built your butt in the gym, and out of nowhere you die. If you get a BBL, are you just constantly living with this feeling that something bad could happen to you?
is it really worth it? You just can't put the energy into eating a bit better and training. It's not hard to grow your glutes. Honestly, I help hundreds, even thousands of girls every year build their glutes while snatching their waist without any surgery, without any bullshit, without any supplements. Just food and training, that is all. And it doesn't have any dangers of killing you. It actually makes you much healthier and live longer.
I was watching videos like this, and hearing that people actually die brought me to tears researching for this video. That's why I'm a little bit more serious, because this is a very, very serious procedure that I don't think people take seriously enough. There were so many BBL drizzy, you know, if I had a BBL, I'd be like this. So many TikTok trends that were going around that were very deadly at one point, just for the promotion of something that people didn't realize was so terrifying. Stories have been released over the past few years of women just like this who went to go get a BBL just for a little bit of a pick-me-up, a confidence boost, and this woman actually ended up being paralyzed from the waist down, and she may never walk again.
A woman says that a Dallas plastic surgeon basically botched her plastic surgery, leaving her in a wheelchair.
And now the Oklahoma nurse is seeking millions of dollars in damages after she says her life was changed forever. Our Brooke Rogers live in Dallas with her story. Brooke.
And Kaylee, this is the lawsuit. It was filed in Dallas District Court today. In it, the patient says what was supposed to be a minor augmentation has likely left her paralyzed permanently.
So we're not talking about turkey plastic surgeons. We're not talking about doing medical tourism to try to get, you know, a cheaper BBL procedure. These are women that are going to reputable plastic surgeons, people that they think that they can trust, and this woman is paralyzed.
It's a cosmetic enhancement known as a Brazilian butt lift, made popular by the likes and looks of some Hollywood celebrities. But for Oklahoma nurse Rolanda Hutton, it was supposed to be a minor makeover.
And I didn't do this to be a video vixen or anything like that. I just went in for something, just a slight enhancement.
She left in a wheelchair after her January procedure at Dallas Plastic Surgery Institute and Dallas Day Surgery Center.
Honestly, looking at her, she's such a beautiful lady, and I'm just like, I'm rocked when I watch these videos. Like, it really, really upsets me.
He says Dr. Samir Jajurakar injected too much fat into the muscles above her sciatic nerve.
There are so many nerves located just above your butt and in that lower back region, and the sciatic nerve is a huge nerve from your back down your leg, and that is the exact reason why she cannot walk. And how do you know what you're doing when you're just throwing fat in somebody's butt?
When she awoke and couldn't feel her feet or legs.
And I kept on feeling like something is wrong. Something is wrong. So I thought, I need to go to the hospital.
She needed to be emergently transferred to capable people at a hospital, and that wasn't done.
Hutton says she may never walk or work again.
These comments say so much. Minor augmentation. BBL is not a minor augmentation. People need to stop treating cosmetic surgery like it's a facial or a haircut. If you did your research, then you know the risks. She's a nurse. She knows better. There is no minor enhancement with the most dangerous procedure, the BBL. And finally, she's an older married woman. So why is she even worried about a BBL? This is really crazy to me. Ladies, please learn to love yourselves. It doesn't matter what year you're born. It doesn't matter how old you are. It gets to a point where you have to learn what it takes to actually love the person that you are and the skin that you're in without any changes to yourself. Imagine going somewhere to boost your self-esteem and then never being able to walk again. There are countless videos exactly like this one of the horrible side effects and the terrible stories of women that actually didn't survive the BBL or were just put under some extremely horrible circumstances. But women are still lining up to this day knowing the horrible complications, all because of the beauty standard. I watched this video specifically and it made me feel so bad that because of other people's opinions, this woman felt the need to go and get a BBL and essentially risk her life.
2 years ago, I got a BBL, and this is why I regret it. In high school, I was super confident about how I looked. I was only 115 pounds, but my skinniness did not matter to me. Until people started pointing it out as a flaw, did it really start affecting me.
This is the biggest issue that I have all the time. The fact that we feel the need to bully and put other people down, which forces them into a corner to make changes to themselves that they never would have in the first place.
In high school, my best friend's dad used to tell me I looked like a 12-year-old boy because of how skinny I was, and that used to really bother me. When I went to college, I was literally dating this boy who would make fun of how skinny I was, and while he was doing all of that, he was liking pictures of really thick girls on Instagram.
Oh, no, girl. Don't do it for the boys. No, please. Oh, he really just wanted a big, thicky chickie, and he would have found a guy who would love a skinny queen.
I was so insecure about my body that I started going to the gym more and working out. And that was great, and it helped me out a lot. I gained a lot of weight, but I was still insecure about my body. A few years later, my ex and I went through a really bad breakup.
Bye.
And basically I ended up getting a BBL.
Stupid ex-boyfriend.
I paid a lot of money and went through a lot of pain because of how I thought society wanted to see me, and because I felt so insecure based on things that happened to me in my life. I won't lie, I looked great. But honestly, beauty fades, so it's best to find confidence from within. And it's alright if you want a few nips and tucks here and there, but just make sure you're doing it for yourself and no one else.
In the comments, I had no problem with my looks either until people pointed out my flaws. Sometimes I think about how a lot of my insecurities stemmed from grown men bullying me. Yes, I was always told that my face was absolutely massive and terrible, and now I love my jaw more than anything in the world, and I wouldn't change it for anybody. I love my BBL. She commented, I loved mine too, but it went away. When you get a BBL, you're actually not allowed to lose any weight. You have to completely stay that weight the entirety of your new body afterwards. Otherwise, you will just start to lose that fat because it's sitting in your body like body fat. So if you're working out, you're running around, you will lose that fat sitting in your butt. And then you are going to be left with loose skin. Not only because of Hollywood, but mostly because of being chronically online, do women feel the need to go and get a artificially curvy body. And when I say that, the type of curvy body that is completely unattainable without plastic surgery. Whether it's families like the Kardashians, we all know that, or other celebrities that are really glamorizing this curvy aesthetic. There are tons of content creators on TikTok that are actually using physical body filters to make you believe that they have a tiny snatched waist and a really large butt with like free apps. So they are giving us this impression they have this beautiful curvy body when it's not even real. It's a filter. And then there are these, the BBL or nots, the Instagram baddies that go ahead and get a BBL and then they sit online and try to share with you how they ended up working so hard and spending all this time in the gym just to achieve this big, beautiful butt. They actually charge thousands of dollars for workout routines to teach you how to get their body when they never actually worked out to get their body, they just paid for it.
BBL or not, first up we have Lisa Del Piero. Here's her Instagram here. Here's before, this is a normal waist, she looks pretty. She was already a pretty girl, she was already a fit girl. And then they take it to extreme. So look, it's pretty obvious, like how much more do I have to?
It's always where like the waist is like this and then it's like, how do the hips do that?
But we'll go on. She doesn't have any hamstrings. One of the things you really have to notice is 0 hamstrings. But the thing that really annoys me is that she's selling programs. She's selling booty programs with a BB.
A 12-week booty program to try to get you to purchase and put money in her pocket to try to achieve a butt that she couldn't even achieve herself.
Oh, just stop it, eh? She's from Germany or something, so it's in different.
Why are you lying though? It's so apparent that you've had a BBL. Just because you lift doesn't make it untrue. How can you feel morally okay about posting something like this when it's absolute BS?
Just listen up. This person is not going to teach you how to build glutes if they've never done it themselves.
This kind of misinformation is so damaging. These girls at home, when they see pictures of this woman, see her beautiful body, they think that they can actually achieve it by buying this program, when you didn't even get the butt with the program. But let's be completely real. You can achieve incredible results and give yourself a beautiful body by working out, eating clean, and getting really good sleep. But the reality is people don't want to hear that. They want results now, and they don't want to work for them. If If the new fad body is a BBL body or the new fad body is an Ozempic body, they will pay and do whatever to have that look right now. They would rather pay $8,000 plus thousands of dollars more in just the things that you need to purchase for recovery and risk their lives rather than just getting up and going to the gym. Anything that is worth it and anything that takes time is very, very difficult. I've been working out for over 10 years. It is literally a part of my daily life. I can hardly go a day without it. In my personal opinion, I think BBLs look bad, unnatural, and very fake. And that's completely besides the fact that you could get nerve damage, infections, and potentially die. On an article I was reading, the first thing it states when you look for the complications or the negative effects of getting a BBL, it is literally death. These girls now only found out how terrifying and difficult a BBL can actually be only after the fact of getting it done.
I'm here to tell you, if you think you want a BBL, no you don't. No you don't. This is the worst pain of my life. I've been leaking blood and pus for 5 days. It's excruciating.
I've had to have my incisions reopened constantly because of seromas and had to extend my stay due to complications. Physically and mentally, I am just not okay. I can barely look at my phone without getting nauseous, so I'll be back updating when I can. This is so sad, and even if you know all of the complications behind a BBL and you still go through with it, do you really know how bad it's gonna be for you? The comments, also a lot don't realize a BBL doesn't last. It will only work for maybe 7 to 8 years and then needs redoing. Get on the squat machine. You wanna pay $8,000 every 10 years? Give me a break. Now consider, what will this BBL look like over time? You know, like that comment said, it only lasts 7 to 8 years. Just because you got this fat injected doesn't mean that that skin won't sag. It actually has to accommodate this extra mass that is now in your derriere. Are you going to be able to afford to fix it when it starts sagging? And when that fat isn't there anymore, it doesn't look the same. And what is it gonna look like when you're 70? Is your ever gonna be the same? This girl isn't even old and she's already making joke TikToks about how unhappy she is with her BBL.
I'm so happy! I'm so sad!
What? Like, you just don't know what it's gonna look like. I say this with every video I make about plastic surgery. You have no idea. You paid for saddlebags, lol. 82,000 likes. Girl, whoever did that needs their license removed. Did you get that done in someone's basement? I've had 3 and still not satisfied. What they need to tell people is the first time is never gonna be right or perfect. It's a money trap. I say this in every one of our videos. So many doctors and people are constantly trying to make money. There are so many horror stories of girls going and getting BBLs, whether they travel and do travel medicine and they go to Turkey or they go to Mexico or they go somewhere completely new, and there are women lined up in the office for this BBL and they are handing it out to them like it's a sandwich at Subway. There's no loving care put into it, is what I'm saying. And this video could be hours long if we wanted to cover every single square inch of everything going on with the BBL, because the list is honestly endless. I am only touching on a small part of this. If you make the decision to undergo any sort of procedure, you have to make very informed decisions. That's what I talk about in every one of my videos. Do your research and know exactly what you're getting yourself into. I will always advocate to love yourself exactly as you are before you ever do anything and touch your face or your body. It is so hard to accept what we have been given and the beautiful body, the working and functioning body that we were given, because beauty standards constantly change and they always want to tell us you're not beautiful enough just so they can sell us another get fit quick scheme, another BBL or another Ozempic drug. But could you imagine risking your beautiful healthy body exactly as it is right now just for vanity, with the hopes that you don't die in the process, but the chances of you getting severely injured, having infections, dying, they are so high. I understand that people age and I understand that people have insecurities, but this is a procedure that I will never get behind. No pun intended. I only make these videos because I love you and I want you to be very informed. Go to the gym, try to take care of yourself, and as a byproduct, not only will your body look better, but you will be healthier and you will live longer. It's honestly a win-win at this point. And in the gym, you can make any body you want. If you want to be really slender and slim, or if you want to be really thick and muscle mommy. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed the video, throw it a big thumbs up and also subscribe down below if you haven't already, and leave me a comment and let me know what types of videos you want me to talk about in the future. I love you so much, and I will see you very soon. Bye.